I'm
Hey
scared.
everybody! Well, look! I just hit the record
I'm so
button.
sorry. I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm trying to give you a nice introduction and welcome you to the stage because this has been a long time coming. I've been trying to get you back for a long time, and you just throwing me off. Welcome everybody to another episode of Whiskey Sour Libations and Conversations. Darren, I think you're frozen. Darren. All right, now he's not frozen. Um, welcome back. Like I said, it's been a long time coming. This guy is busy writing on some of your favorite shows. Uh, Claws being one of my favorite shows. R.I.P. to Claws. I wish it was on,
Yeah,
a little longer, but I get it.
yeah,
End on a high
yeah,
note.
yeah, yeah,
um the Kings of Napa that was on OWN. You have
yeah, yeah,
so many projects and surprise projects
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a lot
coming.
coming out.
Yeah, a lot coming out.
2024.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm so excited that you're giving me an hour of your time because we're gonna get
yeah.
into it.
Let's
How
get
you been?
into it.
How
Let's
you
get
been,
into it.
Darren? Welcome back to Whiskey Sour.
Thanks for having me, D. It's been a long year with the strikes and life and family stuff, but I'm doing pretty good though. I'm doing pretty good. So I'm excited for this year though, and to be like entertaining folks again soon. So yeah.
So I'm super excited about that. I meant to send you a quiz that Tahir posted today, but then when it tells you your score, the score doesn't make sense. So I'm trying to understand it. So I'm gonna
Is it
send
like
you
a sex quiz or
it's a
something?
sex quiz, but it's something
Okay.
about some rice and something else, some purity. And I don't
Wow.
understand because I feel like it's 100 questions that they ask you. And
Mm-hmm.
then I my score was 25 and I was like, do you get a point for each one?
Hmm.
Because I had more than 25 that I selected. So I don't know how they figure that total, the number out, but you know, we'll see.
Send me this quiz. I
Yeah, I'm
definitely
gonna
see.
send it to
Yeah.
you. Well, since we're talking about sex and things, you've been working on a project for a long time,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
a book.
yeah.
It's not out yet, and we're not gonna
Book,
say the name and all
yeah.
these different things.
Books. A
And
trilogy of
oh,
books.
okay,
Yeah.
trilogy books.
It's a trilogy. Yeah. A sex trilogy of books. Yep.
So, guys, if you are, remember the episode with Darren, or if you're new to this, Darren says that he is you no longer backslide,
Ha! I
but
said
you
that.
be blacksliding.
I mean, I've been a lot more well behaved in, you know, last year was eventful though. Last year was eventful.
So
Um
don't forget that the interview came out the year prior. So you was
Damn,
backsliding all last year. And
not all last
I've been to
year,
the
but it was
church. I've given, God got me. I'm like, yeah, he got you because he holding you while you backsliding.
listen, I just want to say this. God knows that we are holy and horny. Like that is not a surprise. That is not a surprise to anybody. But I don't be so I will say this. I don't be in the streets like that anymore and on
Okay.
apps like random hookup sex and all that like anymore. But I still have my I call them jump offs.
Okay.
I mean, everybody needs sex, so but I'm
Do
just not
you
out there.
need sex or is it just a temptation that's killing you, in the words of Destiny's Child?
Killing you. Wow, that's some strong terminology. Killing you. No, I think so. I was late last year, I was talking uh to one of my therapists, my last
Mm-hmm.
one, and he asked me, "Why are you so kinky?" And I told him, I was like, "Well, that's my like stress reliever, pretty much, like
Okay.
the sex stuff, because I work very hard. Life is very stressful. Sometimes it's some long work days, and if I want to get into some S&M on a Saturday night, I mean, it is what it is.
What does S&M mean for the people that don't know what
Oh, I'm sorry. So S&M, so I should actually have said uh BDSM.
BDSM? Okay.
Yeah.
But still
So yeah,
tell our listeners and watchers what those letters mean
yeah,
if they
yeah.
are not aware.
So BDSM, the B stands for bondage. So that could involve getting tied up, restraints, hand cuffs, like etc. The D stands for dominance or dominant. So if, for instance, you're in a role play type, someone will be the dominant one.
Hmm.
So that's the D. The S stands for sadomasochism. I think I said that right. So
Yes.
that is someone who likes to receive a little pain, a little humiliation.
Hmm.
No, I'm sorry. They like to give that, like as well.
I would. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And the M stands for masochism. So that's the person that
Yeah.
receives the pain and the pleasure and etc. So humiliation. Yeah. So that's
It's
something. Yeah.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So that's something that I've been into since I was about 21, probably. So
Oh, I was so scared you was gonna say 12.
well, I mean, I was watching movies that I wasn't supposed to at 12, and that's what sparked my like, oh, well, that looks fun. And then obviously as I got older, I'm like, oh, well, what's this leather strap for? So yeah.
So how did you find yourself really? Because like you said, it's one thing to see it. What
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of introduced you to making this, BDSM and stuff a part of your
Yeah.
sexual
Sexuality.
journey?
Yeah, yeah. So when I was 21, I started dating a woman who was a good decade older than me.
Okay.
And I was always curious about the S&M stuff anyway. So we started early on in our relationship, and I was at Webster still. I don't know if I knew you yet. Yeah,
You didn't
yeah,
know
like I
yet.
was at Webster still. Yeah. So
Wow.
so we started to quickly experiment with handcuffs, other restraints, belts, role play, ice, food, humiliation, threesomes, costumes, props, So so it became like it was fun. And what I really liked about it though is that it made the sex a lot more intense, and it
Mm,
made, I feel like by the time I got to age 22, the type of orgasms I would be like having, they were next level, because it'd be all this extra stuff going on, like the spankings and the, oh, you're wearing that tonight. And so I got to really learn what I liked. And I was with a woman who had a lot of experience doing that. So that's how, so basically, long story short, I was turned out at 21, and I haven't been right since. That's yeah. I mean, that's what it is. So
D, like, no, it's so crazy because I we've had so many different conversations, like
yeah,
you and I, we
yeah,
really,
yeah.
like, I would say, as far as like my male friends that identify as heterosexual, you
Mhm.
probably know more about my sex life than anybody else that is in that realm. Everybody else
Yeah,
is, like my gay friends or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
And so, so, it's so crazy because I'm thinking about this and I'm thinking about how comfortable and how honest you are. And I'm thinking about how many men believe that they are freaks. And when I say freaks, I don't mean that you're like like freak,
No,
but like
no,
freaky.
like a stone cold
You
freak.
a
Like
so cold freak. You a
that.
freak.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
a
a stone
freak.
cold
Like
freak.
I told you, I ain't coming back over your house until I wipe down the couch myself. I ain't sitting on nothing. Um, but a lot of men, their freakiness kind of ends at,
Yeah,
orgies and
right.
threesomes, things
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
There's certain areas that they won't even really tap
Mhm.
into because they feel like it's emasculating, though their mind might wander and go there, but they will never know. And then, unless it's something that they're doing, like on the low, maybe at a sex party or
Right.
something
Yeah, yeah.
where, they can experience something else.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like, whew, you had I knew you was a freak when Tavisha was
What?
like, hey man, I found handcuffs in the dishwasher. And I'm like, hold on. Were there other dishes in the dishwasher when I get you trying to be clean and sanitized, but Darren, you
I think
cannot
it
be.
I think it was only some cups in it.
I don't
Yeah,
care if it was a
yeah,
fork or a knife.
yeah.
I'm like, if that's what you want to do, you want to run it through the dishwasher. I'm
Yeah,
gonna need
yeah.
for you to do that on its own, a solo run.
That's fair. Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm like, listen, I know it's water and I know at a certain temperature, but in my mind, I'm like, it's just passing around. So now, whatever fluids was on the handcuffs is now on this cup that I'm about to drink out of. So, what's I want to, before we jump into kind of talking about the ins and outs of your book, what
Mhm.
is one of the kinkiest situations that you've been in that was surprising to you? And then I have a follow-up question.
That's a really good question, Dominique. Oh man,
I've been
I haven't
working.
thought about this one for my own, but that surprised me though.
Huh?
This actually happened during COVID, and this is something that I do discuss in my the book, and it took me a really, really long time to really come to terms with how much I like this. And I don't do this like every week or nothing, but every now and then I enjoy this. Um, a golden shower. I so I in recent years have developed an affinity for golden showers. Now, what's interesting is that when the first year I moved out here, like the second or third uh month like I was out here in LA, I had met a woman on Craigslist, don't judge me, who
I was gonna ask you, I was like, was this one of the people from Craigslist? So you
yeah,
beat me.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
didn't have
yeah,
to
yeah,
ask.
yeah. I mean, and I like always say, I moved out here at 24. I had just gotten out of a relationship. I didn't know anybody out here really, and I feel like my first few years out here was me really just like sowing those wild oats and just seeing, ooh, what's good. So anyway, though, So I had gotten on Craigslist, I think on like a Saturday, like afternoon, and like
Uh-huh.
scrolling, like, okay, what's popping this weekend, blah, blah, blah. And I saw this woman who had posted an ad saying that she wanted to suck dick and get the pissed on. And like I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I'm like, all right. So I like added, we exchanged the pictures, and I'm like, oh, this is like a real nice looking woman too. But she didn't want everybody knowing she was
Right.
like.
Right. Right.
But anyway, though, so I went over her place that Saturday night, and we were, making out and everything, and then she wanted to take a shower, so we did, and she was giving me head, and I remember she was like, I want you to piss like in me. And I was like, oh, because I was thinking, oh, it'd be on your body, your face, but so anyway, she ended up deep throating me and having me the piss down her throat. Like I had never done anything like that. And it was in like the shower too. And at that time, I was like, I mean, and she loved it. Like just gobbled it up. Like it was a lot. And I remember I was like, oh, this is kind of odd. I don't know if this is for me. But I ended up coming back maybe like a week later and just doing it one more time just to make sure I didn't like it.
I
And I
love it.
didn't, yeah. So we did it like a second time, and she gave like amazing head too. And I mean, she was gorgeous, Dominique, gorgeous, great body and everything. But she had this kink, and this is also me further exploring my own. Oh, well, what other kinks are out there? Because I had never done anything like that.
Right.
So anyway, after that second experience, I was like, oh, I experienced it, but I don't need to do that like anymore. Um, so yes, no, so for the next over like a decade, like I didn't experiment in that or anything else. But as I have gotten deeper in the kinky world now, I've had women to be like, oh, you should try being submissive sometimes, blah blah blah. um so I would say in the past probably 2 years now, I've started receiving more the golden showers. Now, I'm not into piss in my mouth, but if we're in a shower and it's getting hot and this and that, like I don't mind a water sports. That's what we call them. So it's something that's very, for me, I feel like it's in that same vein of like S&M, humiliation.
Yeah, because I was
Not,
gonna say that when you
yeah,
first did it, it sounded like you was humiliated afterwards. Like you was like, "Oh, I don't know if I like this. I felt
yeah,
I
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
expected to do this."
yeah,
So
yeah. So my and you will learn this in the book too. My number one kink, and everybody's always shocked like about this. Now I have many, many kinks, Dominique, like dozens of them, and they're all listed out in this book too. But my number one is being degraded, basically. That's like very high up. Like I love it.
okay,
Yeah. So golden showers is in that, category. And again, it's not something that I need every day, every week, like every month, but every now and then it's fun. And I think the reason why I like it so much is that it feels very taboo. Like
okay,
that's not something that is often discussed amongst mixed company,
companies, yeah,
so to speak. So yeah, yeah.
okay. Well, because now I'm thinking about your list. So I'm like,
Yeah.
is the list? Is it? I know it's more than 10,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
but is it? So it's like it's more than 10, but is it less than 50?
No, yeah, it's definitely not less than 50. Yeah,
It's not less than 50.
it's definitely
Okay.
not 50.
So you are enlightening me and opening my worlds and my mind up to new. And sex is a huge
Yeah, spectrum. Yeah,
spectrum.
yeah.
So give me, just give me two of your,
Kinks.
yes, kinks.
Okay. Um, any sort of spanking or flogging is high up there as well. I feel like that comes in very handy during role play. In fact, I just did that last Saturday night. So yeah, that's a big one. Spanking, flogging.
Could you explain flogging to
Yeah,
the listener?
yeah. Okay, so when it comes to the punishments during sex, a huge one or two huge ones are either spanking or flogging. Actually, can I show you something?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Class is in session now. So, okay, so obviously, if somebody is getting spanked, you can use a hand, a paddle, a belt. That's very basic. If someone is being flogged, though,
Don't be judging people that's using belts
no,
and paddles.
I love a belt. There is nothing wrong, but flogging, though, is a little next level, though. So if you are being flogged, normally you are either tied up or restrained or handcuffed. And if you are being outright flogged, you're using what is called a the flogger here. So this
Okay.
is a one of these. So
Okay.
and these are they're very soft, but they can like really hurt though if you like it rough. So this is like a flogger. So
Okay.
yeah, a big fan here, big fan. So yeah, it's very
So are
like
you like, when it comes to flogging, do you like high, medium, or like low?
I will say this. If I'm not using my safe word at some point, or if my other partner is not, then it's not being done right. So I like it start soft, but go as high as possible. So
Okay.
obviously, normally I am the one that's in control. That's the dominant one.
Okay.
However, if I'm receiving a flogging, I like it as extreme as the possible. But I'm also very advanced in something like this. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
Oh,
is
the other
what?
kink. Yeah. So spanking and flogging.
Yes,
Um,
I combined those two, so that's on me. I'm sorry. So yeah, give
yeah,
me another one.
that's fine. And then
Give me. I
yeah,
feel like flogging and spanking is kind of
yeah,
safe.
that's the same thing. Yeah. No, a big
Throw me for
one.
a loop. Throw me for a loop, friend.
Yeah, role play. And there's so
Oh, I
many
thought you were
different
gonna say
kinds.
pegging.
You wish I could. You really. That's funny. I mean, pegging is something that could be involved in role play. But yeah, no, role play. I really like that because it's so many different scenarios. Like I
Yeah.
remember in the early years I was out here in LA, I did a role play scenario with a woman who is also a writer and a producer, and she's also older too. And we did a role play scenario where I was interviewing for a job. So I wore like a nice like suit and whatnot, and she like interviewed me, and it went from there. And then that we we also combine that with race role play as well, which is something that's kind of controversial for people, but that's
Hmm.
something that I'm also like into, you know.
Darren, what she say?
You can read about that in the book, though. But yeah, yeah. Race role play. Yeah.
Okay, nobody is saying nothing to you that would make not Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman ashamed, right?
If Harriet is not ashamed, then we aren't doing it right.
Okay. All right, that's it. I'm not gonna yuck your yum, okay? Because
because I mean, this is my thing. As long as things are consensual and
Mhm.
everybody discusses beforehand what the rules are, what the safe words are, I think that the bedroom should be, things are open and
Yeah,
some things aren't off limits, but all things aren't for everybody though. Like
yeah,
this is a
no,
very
for sure. Because
yeah.
I don't like, so for me during sex, I don't want nobody saying "good girl" to me. Like
Oh yeah, no, I get
it's
that. That's
something.
yeah.
But you out here letting people probably call you the N word, but you
That's
like,
very
oh,
rare. That's very rare. Like that hasn't happened in years. But
wait, the fact that it happened. But for me, I'm like, you don't, y'all, good girl. I'm like, okay.
yeah, well, I mean that
Yeah, I was like,
that
you had me. I was like, don't
I
say
mean
nothing
that
else.
gets
If that's
you
what you're gonna say,
right because
we can
it's
stop
like
now.
you don't want to feel like a schoolgirl or a schoolboy or something like yeah. No, I get that.
And
But some
it's
folks like
not
that. That's not for me.
right. That's not for me. Now, okay. So when you say schoolgirl, I guess that's even in hindsight. I was like, when people dress up or whatever,
Mhm.
and it's like the schoolgirl,
I hate that.
schoolboy
Hate
teacher.
that. Hate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Hate it.
could, I could do it, but I'm like, okay, just don't say that.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
don't.
no, I get that. Yeah, yeah. Good girl. Good boy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
no. No.
yeah, because I am a very vocal person.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
like
yeah.
looking in your
Yeah.
eyes and like talking to you.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
just
The verbal kink. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I want
Verbal
to
kink.
know that you're enjoying this and this
Yeah,
moment and
yeah.
this
Yeah,
experience.
yeah.
You're having a good time, but just don't
Yeah,
mess
yeah.
it up.
Yeah,
Don't.
yeah. Verbal kink. So let me ask you, do you like to talk shit or is it more sensual for you with the verbal kink?
I do both. I do both.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I might say, "Oh, you not out." Like I don't need. So I would say, okay, I don't. This is, I might say, "Oh, you." I was trying to scale back on my curse words and things. I've been really working on that,
Can we
just
not
because.
curse here?
No,
Are
we
we
can curse. We can
okay?
curse.
Yeah,
But I feel like I cuss a lot, which is
that's okay.
okay. But I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
I'm just yeah. So I would say, oh, you're not fucking me right. You're not doing
Yeah,
it
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Like so I
Yeah,
might shit talk like that a little bit, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
like if I see like if we're in it and I might see your body do something a little
Yeah, yeah.
different, it's just like, and I'm like, oh yeah. So like basic stuff like you like that, or you want me to do this or do that with
Mhm,
like I want to know that you're just having a really good time with me. So
mhm.
yeah, I am definitely for sure. Talk to me. Don't be quiet. I'm not trying to have no quiet sex.
That's very boring. It's very boring. Yeah,
Boring.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, yeah.
what is what is what is something that you would love to do that you have not been successful yet in executing?
Ooh, that's a great question too. I'll say this in all of the group sex experiences I've had over the past 20 plus years. Goodness gracious.
I
That
know. And listen, I've never. I want the record to show I've never had group sex, and I want the world to know that
do you want
like,
to have
it's not that
group sex?
I don't want to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that that's never happened to me, and I think that there's this
Yeah,
misconception that all this. No, it hasn't. I'll be
yeah,
reading books.
that's funny. No, I will say, I've had some very every single group sex experience I've had has been underwhelming. So I would
Yeah,
say,
you mentioned that to
yeah, yeah,
me,
yeah.
and a lot
I
of
would
people,
say,
as I read, like I read that
yeah,
often.
very because I feel like if the chemistry is not there, if everybody's not open minded and this and that, it's gonna be bad. Because I
Yeah,
think that people watch a lot of porn and
yeah.
it's just, yeah, no, I'm very, it just hasn't, yeah, I'm not, I don't want to say I'm not a fan of it, but it has to be done. Like if I ever do that again, and I mean, of course I will, but I'm just like, it has to be the right scenario because I've just, they've all been either mediocre or outright bad or just awful, you know.
What makes
And then also you will get people that either, oh, well, I just want to watch, or I want you to watch us. First off, I don't watch, I am watched. So that's like number one.
okay, go
But
off.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, but sometimes you will get folks that want to get in to watching or being watched, and they do that because they're hoping that it'll lead to actual like orgy stuff, but it's
Mhm.
like, just be open with what you want. Don't be trying to be like, oh, I just want you to watch, and it's like, I think you like want something else, and that's not something, me watching somebody that has to like have sex, that don't really do it for me at all, because I don't even watch a lot of porn like that
Mhm.
anyway. So yeah.
I mean, okay, so I've been recently asked to watch,
Yeah.
and so
Everybody
it was
into it.
something that stop it. What?
Yeah. Everybody into it. Yeah.
And so,
Are you
but
gonna do that? You should do
I
it.
don't know. Okay, no,
Oh yeah, you gotta talk to Johnny though.
really,
What?
really, really. No, no,
Oh,
I
what? Oh, I can't say like his
I'm
name.
like not, no, it ain't that. Like, listen, no. For me, it's more so about the history of the nature of this relationship.
Yeah.
Like this, it was, somebody that I had been intimate, in the past, like
Mhm.
a minute ago.
Mhm.
And I was like, he said, "Would I watch, him and his lady?" And I was like, I mean, do you like? So I have a list of questions.
Yeah.
So, okay, is this just strictly what are you hoping that something comes
Mhm.
out of this? If that happens, how will the person on the other end, you know, feel
Mhm.
about certain things? Because I know me, and I know that sometimes people, that don't know you or whatever, like, people become jealous. I'm like, what does
Yeah.
this look like? So I'm like asking like 21 questions, just trying to get clarity on the situation. He's like, no, I mean, we like people watching us. I'm like, how
Yeah.
many times
Yeah.
I've been watched?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. Yeah.
just trying to get better understanding, but it's just, I don't know. Like I'm into voyeurism, like for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I share with you, I would love to go to a sex party, but I want it to be bougie, like eyes wide shut.
Yeah, no. Well, I told you I was inviting you to something, right? Didn't I tell you?
Yeah, you told
Yeah,
me. You
yeah, yeah,
told me, and I'm like, I'm down to go. Like, do I
yeah,
need to do an STD test? I mean, I'm not trying to fuck. I'm just trying to watch. But if I need to provide paperwork, I will. But
that will be arranged. Trust. Yeah,
okay.
that's no problem. Yeah, yeah. No,
Like
that's
I just want to see. I don't want to be in somebody's like shack
Oh no,
And
we don't do that.
like
Yeah, we
nothing
don't
like
do that.
that.
No, 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 no.
Keep me bougie and safe. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. Like I for sure I would be open to watching. I just don't know if I would be open to watching them. Because just
Right.
like I've been approached to do, partake in threesomes like
Yeah.
quite often, and
Yeah,
it's never the Michael B. Jordans.
yeah.
It's always it's
Yeah.
it's always the never mind. I ain't gonna even talk
You're
mess
right.
on
Yeah,
nobody
yeah.
today. I'll keep it cute.
You're right.
But
Yeah.
I'm like, this don't make it seem like this is something I would
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to do,
Yeah.
but not with you.
Yeah, yeah.
So, ultimately I think like I'm wondering, okay, so you said that you don't like to watch. You want to be the show,
I mean,
right?
I'm number one on the call sheet. That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah, so you that about that action. Okay, I get it. I
right,
get it.
because I am, fearless. So I'm like, on the only way I'm gonna watch is if I feel like I can learn something. Okay, maybe, but I'm just not the guy that's gonna sit there and watch and jack off. That's just not really my, like, that's other people's bag, but that's
Yeah.
just, I'm gonna wanna direct it and be like, wait, what are you doing? Like, oh no,
Well,
put
no,
your
I was
tongue.
thinking. Okay, so I
Yeah,
was thinking. I think the scenario for you would be like if it were you sitting in a chair. I'm picturing it. It's a leather
okay.
chair. You kind of leaning back. It's kind of futuristic chair, kind of. And then it's like maybe the girl's fooling around, the people in the bed fooling around, and then somebody look in your eyes, and then you stand up and you walk over, and they kiss you intensely, and then they pull you onto the bed, and then they take the rest of your clothes off, and then y'all just start going at it. You know?
Actually, my very first threesome experience was a scenario where I wasn't purposely watching, but stuff was happening while I was there, and then the chick pulled me in, and boom, yeah, yep. That's how the first threesome happens.
But okay, so were you in another room? Like you was washing dishes and this happened,
No,
or
it was at a party,
okay,
and everybody was leaving, and it was only a few of us left there.
okay,
And the last folks that were there, they were making out, blah blah blah, and this chick, she was kissing someone else and looking at me out the corner of her eye.
okay,
And
love
next
it.
thing I know, she reached out, grabbed me, pulled me in, and she put her tongue in my mouth. It was completely, yeah. And
I listen. She put her tongue on my
tongue in,
mouth. It
yeah,
was consented,
yeah.
and so
Like,
I
I
kissed
was
back.
like, and I'm not one to really turn down charity work. So, no, I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm kidding. I'm
I
kidding.
can't stand you.
I'm
Okay, okay.
kidding.
Let's get
I'm
into your book.
kidding. Yes, yes. I am being very ignorant now. I'm sorry.
You know you're not. This is actually you are really refined today. You're tame. You
Yeah.
keeping it cute.
I know, yeah, no, I'm trying to. Yeah.
Okay, so you have a trilogy that I have the honor of reading pieces of the first book.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So, what
Yeah,
can you share, about your book? Like, give us a quick
yeah, yeah,
overview
yeah.
of your book.
So listen, I have interviewed dozens of the people now over the past 5 years. I
Mhm.
have so much intel about their sex lives, their relationships, their values, everything. But this is a The first book is exclusively about kink, shame, sexual identity. So we are
Okay.
going to talk about first how I was able to like overcome my own shame and just be
Yeah.
open about the kinkiness and who I am. And then also we will settle on how I came to be a stone cold freak, basically. So
I
that's like
love
the first
I
book.
love Stone Cold Freak, by the way. I'm sorry to cut you
My
off. I
agent loves
love
that.
when you say that.
Yeah, yeah, my agent, because that's just what it is, like that, and that's just like a next level of like freak. So
Yeah.
each chapter you will hear about my story as well as the stories of folks that I have interviewed, and we get into it too. So that's the first book. I'm very, very excited about that. I should have some big news very soon that everybody will know. And I want to do a book tour for that one as well.
Okay.
So the second book, because it's becoming so much hotter now, the second other book is exclusively about open other relationships and the different kinds. Like
Okay.
it's something that just cannot be denied like any longer. And it
Mhm.
came up so much that I'm like, this is the second book.
Yeah, something is there for sure with that
Yeah,
one. And we
yeah.
know so many people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now,
Yeah.
the third one, I'm still playing with it, but what I've settled on, the third one, because I also think this is something that's exclusive just to one like book. Illicit other relationships. This is where we really get into the cheating, the sex work, the jump offs, the fuck buddies, like the stuff that, and the reason why I exclusively want to do a book like about this is that even though I am not into sex work and hookers like that, I know a lot of folks who are, but
Yeah.
someone like me, I've had a lot of illicit relationships though. I mean, they're like legal, but some shit that I shouldn't really be in. So illicit relationships, it's a lot of that. So that's the third book, you know.
So you were a side piece.
Were or are? No, see, let me stop. Let me stop.
Boy, we
No,
gonna have
this
to talk after tonight.
so
What?
like it, and this is something that I don't really talk about as much in this first one, the
Uh-huh.
book, because it's just a whole thing. And I know other folks, who have struggled with illicit encounters, relationships, and I'm like, this is a book. This is a whole like other book, So that's the
Yeah.
trilogy right there.
It's
Yeah.
it's it's interesting because I feel like I keep doing this. It's my sinuses, y'all. It's not Coke. Uh,
Wow. We were going
you have to
there.
tell
Hey,
people because
yeah.
people be like, "Oh, they kept doing this at that Coke nose." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's my sinuses. I sound stuffy." Uh,
Oh,
but I feel like those type of relationships on some level, whether we knew it or not, we all have encountered them in some kind of way. It's
yeah,
it's about how you navigate it. Because like one of this, I might need to be interviewed for that book.
yeah, yeah.
I'll
Oh,
need to
yeah.
be. I'll need to be. I got stories.
It's gonna be a really good one because
Yeah,
this is where,
that's good. I can't wait for that one.
yeah, yeah. Because I feel like th- this one is where we really lay out all of our shame and the stuff that we really don't tell nobody because it's
Yeah,
like I'm involved in that or I did that, and it's just yeah. So
yeah,
it's a really juicy one. I'm like, I feel like I don't want to say I'm saving the best for last, but I feel like I'm saving the most ratchet for the third book probably. And they're all ratchet, but this one that'll be like the worst one, like ratchet
yeah.
wise.
That
Just
one
yeah,
sounds fun for sure. But the first one is intriguing because like you said, you interview people all across
yeah,
the spectrum
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
how they relate to sex and how they
yeah,
identify. What is one
yeah,
of
yeah.
the things that you learned that was that not that it was shocking, but it was enlightening to you.
Honestly, after doing these interviews, I feel so much more enlightened by women. I
Mm,
really, really, I really, really enjoyed each and every woman that I spoke to because
mm,
I feel like that women oftentimes have to sometimes hide who they really are.
yeah,
And I really got to have some very, very candid and very shocking discussions with women. Um, and I do feel like that there will be some folks that won't like some of what the women are saying in here, but it's just like I didn't want to silence anybody's voice. I really didn't.
yeah.
And but I will say this, I had to put in some disclaimers about some of the content, but I'm like,
Okay.
I'm not gonna silence any woman's voice. And what's tricky about some of this is that yes, we are in the Me Too era now. And I know folks are trying to be more PC. And yes, we want to get out all of these assholes and rapists and assaulters and abusers.
Right.
But these women that I spoke to, many of them were very open about what their desires are. And I mean, I had women say things like, look, a strong woman does not want to be strong in the bedroom
You don't.
sometimes. And
And that's the
then,
one place I think I mentioned that to you, or and if I did it, that's the one place where I want to feel most feminine.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
want to feel,
yeah.
but also I want, like, when I say most feminine, I want to make sure like that femininity is like, but that comes with men creating a safe space for women also in the bedroom to allow that to happen.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
men don't know how to lead like when we talk about submission, even outside of the bedroom,
Mhm.
um, often the men that are requesting though that of a woman and it naturally happens, they don't know how to lead.
I
So that
mean,
happens in the bedroom too.
yeah,
You're like, okay, what's happening here? This person isn't doing this, and you're trying to guide them, but they like moving your hand. I'm like, no, I'm putting your hand here because I want to be touched here. Ow, that hurt my
right.
booty.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But it comes with the sex comes with also listening
yeah.
and learning.
Communication,
Yeah,
listening, learning. I mean, I am very, very thankful for all of the. So and I didn't say this earlier. I meant to, but especially when I was younger, um, I was very much into the cougars, and I know some folks don't like that terminology, but that's what we call older women and like a younger man. Like it is what it is. Just like
yeah.
a cat, the daddy is an older man that is with younger women. But what I love about
I
being
didn't know it was called cat daddy. I don't
oh, yeah,
know.
yeah, cat daddy, yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, I just like older men.
yeah, a cat daddy.
They
You
got
like a cat
experience,
daddy?
and I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
teach them. They can teach me. Yeah.
But what I loved about being with cougars though is that they
Uh-huh.
were very much like, I'm gonna teach you how to do this right. Like, get back down there and don't come up until I tell you to. Wait a minute. To the left some. Like, wait, what are you doing? Like, no, like hold it right there. Like that's it. Yeah. So I was trained very well, Dominique. I was trained very well. So this is why I'm just very just like this is what like it is. So
Yeah.
there's not any like shame or it's just like, and I do feel like when men are younger, if I feel like if they're able to listen and learn and experiment like more, we would all have much better sex lives. Well, especially women, you know.
Ego.
Yeah.
Ego.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
sucks, but it's like it's crazy because I think about a lot of the encounters that I've had. And I'm thinking, and I always forget people because I'm like, well, if I don't come, it don't count. Like
Yeah.
it was just something that happened. It was, we fooled around a little bit, but when you try to tell men sometimes, I sleep with men, uh, and it's just always interesting to hear or to see a person shrink, and it's like, no, like I'm not trying
Yeah.
to make you feel small, or it's like some sort of pushback. Well, before, and I'm like, well, before I might have. No, I don't have to do all of that. I'm just like, no, like I want this to be an enjoyable experience for
Yeah.
the both of us.
Yeah.
I know my body,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you that maybe certain things take a little longer, or if you need to do this, or for me, I don't like, I don't care for quickies. It ain't never really been my thing.
Ooh,
But
we actually share that in common. Yeah, I don't like
yeah,
quickies. Well,
ain't
it's
never
it's
been
not that
my
I don't
thing.
like them. Every now and then, maybe, but that's just not my thing, really. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like if the sex is expanded and you really build up, it's almost like tantric sex. You'll have
yeah,
the most amazing orgasms.
yeah. No, I don't give two shits about a quickie. I need foreplay. A
Yeah,
lot of people,
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like the art of foreplay has gotten
Well, yeah,
lost.
people don't like it. Yeah, well,
People,
not that
people be
they don't like it.
they
They don't
just
like.
be trying to go, and I'm like, you
Yeah,
wondering
yeah,
why you having a hard time entering, and it's because
that part.
I'm not all hot and bothered, like Sierra says. Okay,
Yeah, that
like
part.
just take your time and work me slowly. Shout out to Escape for that line. But but now, like, as being in, ins and outs with people and your bowels, like you figure it out. But man, ooh,
Yeah, yeah. No, it's. I mean, I am someone, and I learned this as I've gotten older. I'm one of those rare men that loves like foreplay. I love
yeah,
foreplay. It's so fun. Because I feel like if you can get a woman nice and relaxed and horny and wet and all that, that's gonna make you have an even better experience sex
yeah,
wise.
yeah,
And again, it's just fun. But I know a lot of men are just, let me just get this nut like out the way. Like I get it. And every now and then I'm like that every now. But as again, if it's a quickie nut for me, it's not as satisfying. Oh,
yeah.
because also one of my kinks is edging. Like edging
Okay,
is really really fun. So yeah,
love it, love
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
okay. So somebody might not know what edging is. I know
Oh yeah,
I've
yeah,
edged
yeah, yeah,
before,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but but explain it to.
So edging is when you are getting it on, um, and right before you're about to come, you stop
Yeah.
and you do something else. You switch positions and you the same thing. You keep doing it, and and then you stop. It's now you might leak out a little pre-com, but but you can, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no, I remember one time, and this is one of the weird encounters that I had. I would say I've had a lot of weird sex.
yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah.
intentionally, but it's like,
But it's yeah.
what?
I mean,
What's happening? There was a situation where it was a guy I hooked up with that was we knew each other in high school, and randomly reconnected when I was in college, and so we kind of started talking or whatever. And so he took me out, and then we was like going to hook up or whatever. And I I think that's what was happening. He was like edging, but then, like, cause he would stop, but it
Yeah.
wasn't like we were switching positions or anything.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
and I figured that's what it was. But then
Yeah.
what threw me for a loop is when this man asked me to be his girlfriend. Now
Damn. Dang.
I was like, okay, wait. Can you take me home?
Dang.
I need to go home. Wait, what?
That's
Right now? Yeah, I gotta go. And I
dang.
never called him back or anything after that.
That's creepy. Wow.
Yeah.
During sex or
During
after?
sex.
Wow, he was in it then. He
He
dang.
was in it. And I was like,
That must have been some good ass pussy, Dominique, if he gonna ask you to be
I
his
felt like
girlfriend.
he wasn't doing nothing where it was
Yeah,
giving
yeah,
that,
yeah,
and I'm like, we was in missionary. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I know people love missionary, and I enjoy it, but I was like, I was a missionary. It's one of the most, regular move, positions.
yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
wasn't like it was like I was flipped upside down and hands on the floor or something.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
I was like, no, take me home. So,
It's great.
so
It's great.
when can we, are you in the final stages of your book, or are
I
you?
am actually. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So this has been, I will tell you, this has been a long journey, but the wait has been so worth it.
yeah.
Dominic, so worth it. I mean, I feel like it feels three-dimensional, and
Okay,
I feel like I got what I needed out of myself and everyone else in all these interviews. And yes, I am in those like final stages of being able to present everything and let everybody know what the next steps are and all that fun stuff. So I'm really excited about this one. Yeah,
I'm so
it's a big one. Yeah, yeah, it's a big one. And then obviously there's the podcast stuff that goes with it, and a potential TV series and or feature film stuff. So it's a really big one. It's going to
yeah.
be well worth it. I promise. Yeah.
Listen. I know what I've seen with the thine eyes right here.
And that was just a speck of it. Oh, so I was going to tell you, I let one of my homies read chapter 5, which I'm also gonna let you see that one.
Okay.
And he was just like, "Are you sure you want to put all this out here?" But like he was like, "It's good." He's like, "No, like I want to," because he's the first the person as well that heard all of the potential chapter titles as well.
Okay. Okay.
So, and he saw a full like chapter 5 kinks and blah blah blah, and he was like, but he was on the edge of his seat, like, and that's what I wanted. So
Love
he's
it.
like, this is really really good. I will read this for sure. But his only thing, he's like, are you sure? Like all of this? So I might cut some things down, but I feel like I'm on the right
Let
track.
me proofread that before you cut that down.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm gonna send you the whole unedited. Yeah, because it's like
Yeah.
it's a lot, but no, it's very. What's tricky about this is that even though it's an academic book, it's very explicit though. It's
Yeah.
extremely. It's no holds barred.
Okay.
Which is what I like. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
people, I have to remember that in America, sex is still very,
yeah, yeah.
like
I do. Yeah, yeah,
taboo, and and everywhere else it's just like, okay, you had handcuffs in the dishwasher.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like that's okay, like what's the problem? Like what are we doing here? And I think that once we get to a space where certain things are not ashamed, people are not ashamed of certain things or whatever, I think we could maybe operate better as a country, because we know it's
yeah,
like always
yeah,
your senators,
yeah,
politicians always caught up in something, and it's like, oh
yeah,
my gosh, I'm so surprised, and it's like,
yeah,
are
yeah,
you
yeah,
really?
yeah, yeah.
But it. It's been a pleasure
This
having
is
you
fun.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
I
This is fun.
I want to consistently do something with you because we
Yeah,
have
yeah.
so
We
much
will.
fun
Yeah, yeah.
together,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah.
so I just know that something great is coming,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Oh, this year, I promise. Yeah. I
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Been a long time
And it's
coming.
like we see so many different, sex cast
Yeah, yeah.
and whatnot, but it's always about how it's done. What is the point that you're trying to get across?
Mhm.
It's not like we just selling sex. It's so
Yeah, yeah.
many levels
Not
to
at
it,
all. No.
and certain things that people just have never even thought about. So I'm
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
forward
yeah.
to your book and
Yeah, yeah.
learning something new for sure.
Yeah, like this is, and my agent was very clear like about this, that I wasn't writing a prescription on how to have sex, or like it's not
Right.
that at all. This is a book or and projects about self-acceptance as well
Yeah.
too. That's what this is really all about, and that's the constant theme in each and every aspect of the book, the podcast, the show, like everything,
Yeah.
self-acceptance and not being ashamed and just owning like who you are.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, yeah. No, so this is, yeah, but yeah, we will do a follow up of this
Yeah.
as well very soon too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A follow
yeah.
up that might have some, secrets, some reveals, some surprises.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of those. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yep.
So, Darrin, tell the people where they can follow you and find you
Oh
if
yeah.
you would like to connect with the people in the internet world.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Low Budget Laughs. One word. Low
Look.
Budget Laughs.
And his Twitter feed is hilarious, by the way. So if you don't
Oh,
do
well,
anything,
thank
for
you.
sure follow him over there.
Yeah, yeah.
And
We're
I
gonna
just
talk
want to
some
remind
shit.
you guys that to like, subscribe, and share the
Yeah,
podcast. I have a Patreon. I created a Patreon. I have one
yeah,
for my Aquarius podcast, and I want y'all to like, subscribe, and share that podcast as well with my boy Daryl,
yeah, yeah.
who's also from St. Louis. But we have a Patreon for that one, and all the information as well as my Patreon will be in the show notes. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll be creating like fun
Nice.
content that I won't be putting out anywhere else. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to that. And we got candles that are for sale at
Yeah,
saint-angels.com.
yeah. Nice.
So we're entering spring,
Yeah,
make your house smell fresh
yeah,
and new.
yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
or give the gift of of a candle to somebody that you really
Yeah,
care
yeah.
about.
Nice.
So that's all, and we will see you guys here next week. Thank you for tuning in.
Nice. Bye, everybody. Thanks for having me.